Welcome back to Limbus Company, Daily Mirror Dungeon. It is, once it loads, wheel day today. We've got a bunch of stuff still on the wheel. Let's give it a spin. See what today's bit is going to be. Still some funny options, some simple options. It's the Hell's Chicken Dungeon again. Why do I always get this? Okay. I'll do it, right? There's not really a reason not to, but, like, I keep on... What? Okay. Wrong button. I keep on getting specifically this one in, like, a lot of wheel spins and stuff. Alright, that's fine. We can send it. No need to, like, do, like, a jump cut or anything. We're gonna run the best team of all time. We're gonna take... Yeah, because you can refresh and it actually rerolls. God. It's so funny that it's still like this. We're gonna take Nebulizer. Okay. We're going to take 7 Yisong, Base Honglu, and Corp Rodion. You. You. And then you, sure. That's the team. Genuinely no thought whatsoever has went into choosing this team. But that's part of the fun. And, in the order we selected them, I guess. Alright, it's only 5 people. Okay, this is the team, then. Sure thing, we're gonna run this team for Hell's Chicken Dungeon. I don't know. Especially since floor packs exist now, and like, event dungeons are so lame. Like, the time-killing time dungeon especially felt super lame because, like, I mean, there was a floor pack anyways. It didn't even make any difference. Right? For the sake of the Blade Lineage dungeon, like, they also added the Aegis and stuff to Mirror Dungeon 3, right? I don't know. Hell's Chicken Dungeon was at least, you know, logical at the time, but I'm pretty sure War Event, they specified isn't getting a dungeon, but we'll get, like, a floor pack, right, in Mirror Dungeon, so... Which I think is the better way to do it, because, like... I don't know. The actual dungeons in the mid chapters are always just so lame because, like, you really can't do anything. They're usually just straight up, like, slightly easier than, like, a normal fight. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of, like, Kanto 6, you know, not doing a dungeon, like, really helped it a bit because the dungeons can definitely be kind of iffy. Like, they've got some cool stuff. The Aegis and stuff is cool. I think the biggest issue with dungeons, though, is the fact that you can carry over resources, which means you can just ego spam through final bosses and stuff for stuff like Kanto 5 dungeon, right? You can just spend the entire time building up resources and then just spam, like, egos against Ahab. Which really takes away some of the fun. When, you know, that is something you can do, instead of it needing to be, like, you need to be careful about how you, like, generate sins and spend them. I don't know. I guess the Hell's Chicken Dungeon and all the mid-chap dungeons at least do the thing where they have your resources each fight. So, like, you can't spam egos as well there. But I don't know. I mean, your resources should be, like, reset whenever you stop at, like, a rest stop or something in, dungeons. Or whatever they call them. I know they're not called rest stops, but you know what I mean. It's basically the same idea. I don't know. We'll see. I definitely want dungeons and Kantos going forwards, but, like, I don't really care for dungeons and mid-chapters at this point, right? I don't know, because the dungeons are super cool, but they're just also... Especially because, like, the Kanto 4 and Kanto 5 ones didn't do anything interesting with the dungeon, right? It was fairly linear the entire time. Because I really liked the Kanto 3 dungeon because, like, there was a bunch of, like, alternating paths you can choose. You could really, like, change how you went about, like, exploring it. Kanto 3 dungeon was definitely the best of them. I mean, the third floor was kind of lame, but, like, that second floor in the Kanto 3 dungeon was super cool. How you could either get, like, the things and then pass the check, or you could just brute force it, and, like, there was stuff like, you know, Sacristy if you wanted to, like, do the harder fight. but you could just not. Like, it was a very cool dungeon. And then the other dungeons didn't do anything unique with it. You could have just made it more story nodes, and it would have been basically the exact same thing, right? It kind of felt like they were doing it just because they had done it every time so far, and like, why wouldn't they? But like Canto 4, Canto 5 dungeons could have just been like another like 20 nodes or whatever on the actual overworld map, and it would have been basically the same thing. And then you could have actually refighted the bosses without, needing to go through the entire dungeon again. If you want to, refight either of the Ahabs or Dongrangs, you need to go through the entire dungeon again, or you're going to get lucky and get them in mirror dungeons. Compared to, like, you can just fight Earl King whenever you want. Which is fun. And I'm kind of ranting about it. I think my point changed a little bit in my speaking. We actually get some decent rupture going with these two alone, even though they're pretty bad with rupture thanks to having the funny stuff. Slothra is cool. But yeah, main point being, I hope they mid-chapters don't have the dungeons as much going forwards, because I think, it's weird, right? They're probably going to keep on doing them. I don't think it's that big of an issue. As long as you don't need to grind them, it's fairly fine. Haven't had to grind them for a while. And that's just my personal opinion, right? I'm sure there's like varying opinions on this stuff, but personally, I don't know. Canto 6 just really showed how well you can do a chapter without a dungeon. And we'll have to see how they do it going forwards. And also, because like Canto 4, Canto 5, like the Lobcore branch we cover like before the dungeon stuff. The dungeon is something else random. Something else that's not particularly dungeony. I mean, kind of, right? They're fairly dungeony, but they're not the branches themselves. Maybe Dawn's Canto is going to be a return to form. We're actually going to explore a branch as the dungeon for once, potentially. I don't know, we'll have to see. Still a lot of ways you can take Dawn's Canto. We're going to have to see. The actual upcoming Warp mid-chapter is probably going to be like a good look into some of that stuff, right? See a nice glimpse of what Dawn's Canto might, involve. Potentially, right? It seems like it's going to be Faust and Dawn focused for the mid-chapter. That's what it seems to be, right? Although Dawn isn't getting anything for the mid-chapter. Which is definitely interesting. Because, like, usually when the mid-chapter is relevant to the person, they usually get something, Ishmael got Molarboat Works from the SEA, and Heathcliff got Holiday from the Miracle in District 20. But Dawn's not getting anything here. Dawn's probably not getting anything, though, because they kind of chose a very, very bad event to try and make, like, important for Dawn from a gameplay perspective, because she's already got a Warp ID, she's already got a really good charge ego, and a mid-charge ego. Do people like Electric Scream gameplay-wise? I don't know. I've barely ever used it. I think it's got maybe potential, but, like, it's a 20 charge cost if you want to, like, get a little bit more damage. It just seems kind of iffy. I guess it's more so an NV ego than anything then, right? Good for NV res middle stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, they couldn't realistically give Dawn another, like, relevant ego or ID for this one without it just being more warped stuff. Which wouldn't be really necessary, at least in my opinion. Got a lot of sloth in this team, jeez. I made this team without thinking about it whatsoever, so, it's kind of coincidental. I guess that means we can use Sun Shower spam and, like, get some benefits from that. Could be funny. We'll see, I guess. We'll see, IG. Nice. We are gaming. Slowly but surely. These guys are super tanky. It's the only reason why doing this episode's mostly just going to be just me talking about random stuff as we kill a bunch of K-Corp bongy guys. That's going to be the majority of it. Since they're so tanky and they take a while, and we don't really have a lot of great Synophinies to take these guys down. You want a lot of slash, and we do not have a lot of slash. I think Seven saying has a slash skill 2, is it? Or is it blunt? It might even be blunt. Actually, I don't know. Is it slash? No, your skill 3 is blunt. That's what it is. Your Pearson blunt, your Pearson blunt, your Pearson blunt, and you're just your blunt is slash. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, your skill 2 is slash, so your skill 2 is gonna be like our best friend, which is kind of sad. But base song was decent as far as base IDs go, so you know what happens. And our rupture is kind of goated, so that's pretty nice. Chicken breast is a little silly, after all. Cool. That's a victory. Good enough. I'm looking forward to the warp event a lot. Very curious to learn more about like the multi-crack office because they're very prosthetic focused. Not something they've really leaned into too much in Limbus. The reason is pretty simple. Like, there's not a lot of prosthetic people in Limbus because PM really doesn't want to give us IDs that fully block characters like Head, right? They don't want to give us something like a Brotherhood of Iron type situation where you can't see a Sinner's head entirely. Because that's like the one thing they've tried to be pretty consistent about. Like, IDs always show the Sinner's face. And big asterisk, because I'm counting like the base sprite, right? Obvious stuff like some of the R-Corp IDs and like K-Corp and T-Corp, like when certain conditionals are active, they put on a mask. But in their normal form, you can tell who's who pretty easily. You can see their head, that sort of thing. That seems to be like a consistent thing. It makes me wonder if we'll ever end up getting like sweeper IDs or something. I really hope we do, because like stuff like that would be pretty fun. But even like the prosthetic Faust ID, like she's got a half prosthetic face. Even then, it's like just a half mask thing. You can still see her face well enough, right? Kind of like how they did with like Guido Merso, where they like had Guido's mask slightly broken for the Merso ID, so that you could tell it was Merso. Maybe they could do something like that in future. I don't know. For sweepers especially, like, there's not really any way around it, because, like, sweepers don't have anything inside them. They're just a shell of armor, like, with a bunch of, like, fluid inside. So if we were to get a sweeper ID, they couldn't be anything beyond, you know, purely metallic face. I'm sure you could make it resemble one of the Sinners enough, though, or something, right? Sweeper Gregor or something. He's got, like, weird, like, glasses or something, like a sweepery ponytail. Doable. I don't know. Hope so. I feel like we'll see sweepers sooner or later. I feel like they'd be like an obvious choice for like a Walpurgis night, because like in the style of Green Dawn, right? I think a lot of people have said this though, but like a Green Dawn type fight with like just waves upon waves of sweepers would fit super well. I think it could be an event, though, not necessarily Walpurgis, because like sweepers obviously they were an ordeal, so they could have been Walpurgis. They were Indigo Noon, but they also exist in plenty, like, they exist in plenty outside of LobCorp, though, just being around in the city. Who knows, maybe we'll have, like, a mid-chapter or something where we get caught in the back streets, you know, after 3:13 p.m., or 3:13 a.m., and, you know, we need to survive the sweepers. And by the sounds of it, you could never truly onslaught it, and, like, Dante would be in huge risk, so I don't know if they could do that. But if they do it where, like, they just need to fight through some of them to get to a residential district to be, like, safe, that could work. That's kind of what they did, like, at one point in Distortion Detective, right? Caught in the night in the back streets, had to, like, yeah, I'm saying. Had to, like, get to a residential district and not die, yeah. I might pull that in Limbus. Okay, Paul Bongi time. I think the plan is we're gonna spam Sloth and see how funny that goes. It could be pretty funny, given how much Sloth we seem to have. Especially because we got commemorative coins so we can double up Sun Shower. Oh, we need Pride, though. Okay. So we can't do that first turn. We'll wait up on that, then. Riposte you. Screw loose, sure. Select command, sure. A little bit of this. And do a little bit of this. Sure. We'll Sunshower next turn. My mouse is being weird. Cool. I think I just need to get a new mouse. I changed the batteries recently, hoping that would fix it, and it didn't. I think I just need to get a new mouse. I've had this mouse for a few years now, so it's probably about time. It's not a very fancy mouse or anything. Maybe it's surprising it's lasted as long as it did, right? Oh, that guy just got staggered by that. That's cool. Oh, yeah, right, because I keep on forgetting that we don't actually need to kill this guy. I just assumed the top right of the bongies was the hat guy, but, like, there's no hat guy in the spiced up bongie fight. There is no hat guy. I lied. Oh. So we can just sloth res a little bit. We do a little bit of sloth resing. What are you going for? Okay. That should work. We double up Sun Shower, maybe lose a little bit of sanity. Tails, yeah, we're losing a little bit of sanity. We shouldn't corrode on the reuse, though, and if we're really lucky, we might get a heads. It'll be like a 20% heads chance or something, but it's possible. And then if you get heads, you do heal your SP up basically to full. I guess you're only going to hit 2 targets, though, so not actually... Oh, you killed, right. I forgot about that, yeah. Because, you sound killed with it. No reuse. That's unfortunate, but it's fine, because, like, everything's dead. We're about to stagger Bongi himself. We can't use it again, unfortunately. We're missing Pride, I assume. Yeah. Pride, Sloth, and Gloom, which we actually could get all of that this turn, but... really don't know if we'll need to. Really don't know. Some strong attacks going on here and there, that's fine. We'll do a little bit of this. Maybe I should have tried going for the Sloth Res to see if I could trigger NO. It doesn't matter that much, though. We can Sun Shower next turn if need be. We probably don't need to, but I will for the bit, right? Okay. Very lucky, actually. 27 SP, you were pretty likely to lose any of those clashes. You've been staggered. Good stuff. And we will Sun Shower. We're probably not going to need it, but it's funny, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, cool. You've got 250 HP, you definitely die here, yeah. Very quick run. That's always how the Health Chicken Dungeon is. It's just kind of on the wheel as like a simple thing, I guess, right? Because if I don't have them on the wheel, when will I ever bother with the Health Chicken Dungeon? I guess it's also in the randomizer, but I should probably remove it from the randomizer. Shh. Gave me an excuse to complain about it. Yisong took 3 damage, and he's the only sinner to take any damage. Fair enough. Oh yeah, right, we don't get rewards or anything because it's the Health Chicken Dungeon. Kind of caught me off guard for a second there. It makes sense, though. Price we have to pay for doing, you know... Oh! 50 Ryoshu shards. That's cool. Ryoshu's unlikely to get anything shardable for the rest of this season. But, you know, still cool to have. Because she's getting the Walpurgis ID, obviously, but... I don't think she's getting anything shardable to the end of the season, so I guess that's just going to be 50... That's just the... It's basically just worth 25 thread, 25 next season Ryoshu shards, if I had to guess. Ryoshu's gotten a fair bit this season already, right? Because she's gotten that ID, she's gotten that ID, she's about to get another 3-star, and then on, you know, for Ego, she's, gotten Contempt Awe. That's the only Ego she's got now, but she got so many Egos season 2, and just has not needed Egos since, right? Or not season, or so many Egos like season 2 and Blind Obsession season 3. But like she doesn't need a lot of Egos because like she got 3 Egos season 2, just kind of then and there, all within the span of like a month, I think, right? But yeah, that was our quick little run of that Hell's Chicken Dungeon. It's pretty mid, but we got a 3-star dupe, so that's worth something at least. But anyways, that'll be all for this time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode. Bye!